Top 10 Forgotten American Pickup Trucks that Shaped Rural History.
The wonderful, wonderful ride that's the most outstanding feature of this new 1950 Studebaker.
Ending beating. They're water babies, too. Get a thorough soaking as they plunge headlong and forward through the water bath run.
Back in the golden era of American trucks, names like Studebaker International Harvester Willys and Hudson weren't just brands, they were part of the family. These pickups roamed dirt roads, hauled feed and firewood, and became fixtures in small-town life. But over time, they quietly disappeared from the spotlight, replaced by bigger names and modern machines. So what happened? Why did these iconic workhorses vanish? And which ones are still hiding in Barnes Fields or your own memory? In this video, we're taking a nostalgic ride through 10 forgotten American pickup trucks that shaped the backbone of rural America. From bullet-nose Studebakers to military-born Power Wagons, this is vintage iron you won't find in today's showrooms. Which of these classics did you grow up with or dream about owning? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you love real American truck history. (1949 to 1953) Studebaker 2R Series Pickup. Let's kick things off with a pickup that dared to be different, the Studebaker 2R Series. Introduced in 1949, this truck didn't look like anything else on the road. With its aerodynamic bullet-nose grille and smooth curves, it brought a sense of style to a segment that was all work and no play. It was sleek, bold, and ahead of its time. Under the hood, the 2R was powered by a 170 cubic inch L head inline 6, delivering 80 horsepower, not much by modern standards, but more than capable for the era. Weighing in around 3,000 pounds and built to handle a 3/4-ton payload, this Studebaker could haul hay lumber or engine blocks with style. Drivers loved its ride comfort too, thanks to a well-designed front suspension that made it one of the smoothest trucks of the early 50s. But even innovation has its limits. By the mid-1950s, Studebaker simply couldn't keep up with the big dogs Ford and Chevy. With limited funds and shrinking market share, their pickups disappeared from showrooms. Still, the 2R remains a symbol of American craftsmanship that refused to follow the crowd. (1950 to 1965) International Harvester. R Series and C Series. Now let's talk about a brand that practically lived on American farms, International Harvester. Known for their tractors and heavy-duty equipment, IH stepped into the pickup game with the R Series in 1950, followed by the C Series in the early 60s. These weren't flashy city trucks. They were tools meant to work hard every single day. The R Series came equipped with a 240 cubic inch inline 6, cranking out around 115 horsepower, and built tough enough to take a beating. It offered multiple payload ratings from half-ton to 1-ton versions, and you could get it with rear-wheel drive or optional 4-wheel drive, a rarity in that era. What set IH trucks apart was their bulletproof reliability. Farmers swore by them. Simple dashboards, vinyl bench seats, and those heavy steel panels made them ideal for rugged use. You'd see them hauling hay, towing livestock trailers, or idling behind the barn with decades of rust, but still running. But by the late 1970s, market competition and poor marketing hurt International's presence in the consumer pickup world. The trucks were solid, but not trendy, and in a world leaning toward style over strength, they quietly disappeared. (1939 to 1947) Hudson Big Boy Pickup. Long before muscle trucks and flashy off-roaders, there was the Hudson Big Boy pickup, a work truck, with the soul of a luxury car. Built between 1939 and 1947, Hudson's pickup offerings were elegant, smooth, and unmistakably stylish. They took the front-end design of the Hudson Terraplane and blended it into a long bed hauler that looked like it belonged at a Hollywood premiere. Powered by a 212 cubic inch inline six, rated at 96 horsepower, the Big Boy had enough torque to handle serious farm duty while looking like it just left a showroom. It used a 3-speed manual transmission and rode on a chassis that shared components with Hudson's passenger cars, giving it a smooth ride compared to most trucks of the day. The real standout was its Art Deco-inspired design, flowing fenders, chrome accents, and wide, graceful grills that turned heads even when loaded down with tools or produce. It wasn't just functional, it had flair. But after World War II, Hudson struggled to regain market share. In 1954, the company merged with Nash to form AMC, and pickup production was quietly dropped. Today, a Hudson Big Boy in working condition is a true collector's prize, part truck, part-time machine. 1947 to 1965, Willys Overland Pickup. When soldiers came home from World War II, they didn't just bring memories, they brought a demand for the same rugged durability they'd seen on the battlefield. That's where the Willys Overland Pickup came in. Launched in 1947, this truck was built on the same platform as the iconic military Jeep, bringing 4x4 capability to everyday Americans long before it was trendy. Under the hood was the legendary 134 cubic inch Go Devil inline 4, producing 63 horsepower. That may not sound like much, but combined with a 4-wheel drive system and low gearing, this Willys could crawl through mud, snow, and rocky trails like a mountain goat. It offered a half-ton payload and came with a Spartan but functional interior metal dash, simple gauges, and bench seating. What made the Willys pickup special was its honesty. It didn't pretend to be flashy. It was all grit. Farmers, hunters, and off-roaders loved it for its unshakable dependability and go-anywhere attitude. If you grew up in a rural town, chances are you saw one bouncing down a gravel road, hauling feed, fencing, or firewood. Eventually, Willys was absorbed into Kaiser Jeep, and though the DNA lived on in later models, the original Willys pickups became a rare sight, a fading symbol of post-war determination and simplicity. (1955 to 1963) REO Pickup. If the name REO rings a bell, it's probably because of the rock band REO Speedwagon. But long before guitars and stadium tours, REO Motor Car Company, founded by Ransom Eli Olds, was building tough, no-nonsense work trucks that helped shape early American industry. One of their most memorable contributions was the REO Speed Delivery, a light to medium-duty pickup built for businesses, farms, and tradesmen from the mid-1950s to early 60s. These pickups weren't flashy, but they were built like brick walls. Powered by a 331 cubic inch L-head inline 6, they delivered roughly 130 horsepower and were capable of 1.5-ton payloads, depending on configuration. REOs were commonly seen with flatbeds or delivery boxes, making them perfect for construction sites, grain elevators, and farm supply shops. The cab was all-function thick steel doors, heavy-duty floor pans, and minimal comforts. These trucks were bought by people who needed a reliable hauler and weren't afraid to get dirty. But as technology evolved and the big automakers moved in with more powerful modern designs, REO couldn't keep pace. By the mid-1960s, they merged with Diamond T to form Diamond REO, shifting focus to large commercial trucks. The pickup line vanished, but the REO name still echoes through American work ethic and classic truck history. 1936 to 1951. Diamond T Model 80 and 201 pickup. If there was ever a pickup that earned the title Cadillac of trucks, it was the Diamond T, produced from 1936 to 1951. The Diamond T Model 80 and 201 pickups weren't just built, they were crafted. With Art Deco styling, hand-finished interiors, and heavy-duty construction, they combined brute strength with elegance in a way no other truck dared. Power came from a 233 cubic inch Hercules inline-6, putting out 91 horsepower, plenty for its time. It rode on a stout frame capable of handling up to 1 ton of payload, while the truck itself weighed close to 4,000 pounds. Add hydraulic brakes and advanced suspension for the era, and you had a truck that was as smooth on pavement as it was tough on gravel. Inside, Diamond T didn't skimp. Upholstered seats, chrome gauges, and full steel dashboards gave drivers a sense of pride every time they turned the key. These weren't fleet trucks, they were owner-operator machines for people who took their tools and image seriously. The only downside, price. These trucks cost significantly more than comparable Fords or Chevys, which made them rare even in their prime. By 1951, Diamond T's pickups faded out, and the company later merged into Diamond REO. But a restored Diamond T today, that's not just a truck, it's a rolling piece of American art. 1946 to 1968, Dodge Power Wagon. After World War II, Dodge didn't waste time bringing military-grade toughness to American driveways. Enter the Dodge Power Wagon, launched in 1946, a civilian version of the battle-tested W-Series military truck. It didn't just look like it came from the front lines, it practically did. Under the hood sat a 230 cubic inch flathead, inline-6, producing 94 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque. With a 4-speed manual transmission, 2-speed transfer case, and 4-wheel drive as standard, this beast could climb, crawl, and conquer terrain that left lesser trucks stuck spinning their wheels. It handled up to a 1-ton payload, and its gross vehicle weight was a serious 8,100 pounds. Visually, the Power Wagon had massive flat fenders, a blunt grille, and no-nonsense steel construction. Inside, Spartan metal surfaces, a bench seat, and gauges that looked like they were borrowed from an army tank. But none of that mattered. It was a working man's dream. From farms and logging camps to fire departments and utility crews, this truck got things done. By the late 1960s, its outdated looks and harsh ride gave way to more modern designs. Still, the original Power Wagon remains an icon of post-war resilience, unapologetically rugged and proudly unstoppable. (1938 to 1939) Graham Bradley pickup. Now, here's a deep cut for the vintage truck connoisseurs, the short-lived but unforgettable Graham Bradley pickup. Built during just 2 model years, 1938 and 1939, this unique machine was the result of a collaboration between Graham Page, a carmaker known for sleek styling, and Bradley, a manufacturer of farm implements. The idea: deliver a farmer's truck that looked like a luxury car. And they nailed it. The Graham Bradley featured flowing Art Deco curves, a stylish vertical bar grille, and wide front fenders that turned heads even when it was hauling corn. Inside, it came with upscale touches rarely seen in pickups of the era: padded seats, chrome switches, and a dash layout inspired by passenger cars. Power came from a 217 cubic inch inline, 6 good, for 85 horsepower, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission. It was capable of moderate hauling and towing tasks, but its true calling was comfort on long trips into town or to the feed mill. Unfortunately, timing was brutal. With the country still recovering from the Great Depression, few farmers could afford a luxury truck, and sales were low. By 1940, the pickup vanished from production. Today, finding a Graham Bradley is like spotting a unicorn. It remains a rare and stylish reminder that even the hardest working machines can be built with a touch of elegance. 1962 to 1987, Jeep Gladiator. Before today's flashy off-road pickups and adventure rigs, there was the original Jeep Gladiator, a truck built to tame America's wildest terrain. Introduced in 1962, the Gladiator wasn't just another pretty face. It was Jeep's first full-size pickup, and it came ready for anything with standard four-wheel drive on many models years before it became the norm. Early versions were powered by the 230 cubic inch Tornado inline-six, producing 140 horsepower, while later models offered the AMC 327 V8, pushing up to 250 horsepower. Matched with a 4-speed manual or optional automatic plus solid front and rear axles, the Gladiator was made for snow mud and rocky back roads. The truck's squared-off design inherited from the Wagoneer made it unmistakable. You might remember the Honcho package from the 1970s with bold stripes and rally-style wheels that screamed attitude. But even the base models had that rugged military DNA feel perfect for camping, hunting, or towing a boat to the lake. Despite its strengths, the Gladiator struggled in a market dominated by Chevy and Ford. By 1987, it was phased out in favor of newer Jeep pickups like the Comanche. Still, the legacy of the original Gladiator lives on in today's off-road culture and in every trail it once conquered. (1955 to 1958), Chevrolet Cameo Carrier. In the heart of the chrome-covered 1950s, Chevrolet changed the game with a pickup that wasn't just for work, it was for showing off. Meet the 1955 to 1958 Chevrolet Cameo Carrier, the truck that introduced America to the concept of a luxury pickup. It looked more like a Bel Air than a farm truck, and that was entirely the point. The Cameo was powered by Chevy's 265 cubic inch small block V8, producing 145 to 185 horsepower, depending on the year and options. It rode on a modified 3100 chassis and featured a fiberglass rear bed with smooth side panels, chrome bumpers, two-tone paint, and stylish trim that matched Chevrolet's passenger cars. Inside, it offered plush bench seating, a wraparound windshield, and a car-like dash features unheard of in pickups at the time. The Cameo wasn't built for rough fields. It was made for cruising downtown or pulling into a drive-in with the radio playing. With a half-ton payload, it still had utility, but it introduced a new idea: trucks could be fashionable, not just functional. Despite its high price, the Cameo sold well enough to inspire competitors. But by 1959, fleets demanded simpler designs, and the Cameo was replaced by the fleet side. Today, spotting one in pristine condition is like seeing a piece of American design history on wheels. These forgotten pickups weren't just trucks, they were time capsules. They tell the story of an America that built with steel, sweat, and soul. Whether it was a Diamond T rolling onto a dusty job site or a Chevrolet Cameo gleaming under neon lights, each of these machines carried more than cargo, they carried memories. Which one brought back the most nostalgia for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing your stories. And if you're passionate about preserving the legacy of classic American pickups, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Muscle Car Masters, and share it with your fellow gearheads.